Hey, good morning, Morter Marchers. I'm Dr. Ted Morter here at Morter Farm. Thank you for being with me this morning on this beautiful Monday morning. It's beautiful out there. It's a spring morning. It's going to be a quickie for spring today. I was thinking a lot about, well, it was Palm Sunday, and I was listening to a sermon. It was very, very moving to me, and it hit right home. Hit right home. In fact, I've listened to it. It's 20 minutes long. I've listened to it 4 times now. And I thought, this is really good. And it was about kindness. And it really hit home for me anyway. And maybe some of the message that I'll give you that I learned from that, or that stimulated conversation in my own mind about what is going on with this kindness idea. Maybe it'll relay back to you as well. Something about you and your home and the people that your family that you hang with. And it started, some of the teachings that I've taught over the years were very aligned with this, in that, there's a saying, if somebody will be kind to you, and then you go out for a meal, you go out and meet a waiter or waitress, and they're not kind to that person, they're not a very good person. They're not a very kind person in general. And that's true. You know people like this. I know people like this, that they sound, really virtuous and everything's great. They're very, enlightened, and all of a sudden they get into a situation where there's some stress, maybe with a waiter, and I've done this in the past too. Maybe there's some stress there, and they just snap, and they're like, I can't believe this. What's going on? This makes no sense. But you never know what the waiter or waitress may be going through. You never know what happened to them on the way to work that day. You never know if somebody knocked on their door or with a bill, or maybe wrecked their car or did something to them. You don't know. So you have to give grace in those situations. But a lot of people don't. And as I said, I won't say that I've never, done that, because I have in the past. And I try to catch myself on that and say, what triggered that? What triggered it in me that I was unkind to that particular person? So that's the thought, is that if people are unkind to a waitress, but they're kind to you, they're not a very kind person. But the flip side of that is the same thing as well. And this was an interesting philosophy that I've read about and listened to, in that it's much easier to be kind to a stranger than it is to your own family, for example. Because the stranger is out there, you'll never see them again. It's just almost like you're creating an image of yourself when you're trying to be kind to the cash register, or the person in the parking lot, or a dog, or a puppy, or someone that you don't know, a mailman, or somebody that you meet in a store. Hi, Diane. It's easy to be kind and show kindness to someone that you don't even know. But that's really not what we're looking for. That's more of an image management. That's a good word. Image management. You're managing your image to yourself and to others around you, that how great you were, that you were so kind to that person that you didn't even know, that you bought them dinner, or you picked up their tab, or you whatever it might be that you were kind and showed grace or empathy towards, and you pat yourself on the back and say, I'm really a good person. I did a good job there. I did something really well. But the truth be told, and I didn't really think about this until I was reading this, that's the easy way out. That's the easy way out. The difficult part is when you bring it home to family, when you bring it home to those that are closest around you. That's the more difficult area when we're dealing with this extending kindness and grace and forgiveness. That's the tougher part. Because the people out there in the parking lot, they're not sharing the experiences that you've had all of your life. They don't know what you brought home from work and dumped all over your family. They don't know what stresses you might have been under, that you came home and puked it out all over the kids or your wife or your husband. They don't know those things. They're just a stranger out there. So they're different. But when you bring it back home, this is where you create character. This is where you create, and I listened to this and I thought, this is so true. This is your character. If you find yourself snapping at your husband or your wife or your kids about something, you have to stop that immediately and say, wait a minute, is this about being truly kind and showing grace and empathy, Or am I just virtue signaling in my own house as well? Because they're going to bring this along all of your life. You're going to have this all of your life, and you're going to reap the rewards when you get gray hair like mine or falling out like mine. You'll reap the rewards of the things that you sowed over the years. So I encourage you to step back for a moment and think about being kind and how that affects you in your home life. How does that affect you at home? Are you really that person extending kindness and grace and love and forgiveness? Or are you holding grudges? Are you holding back and you're having a hard time dealing with these situations that you want to control? You know, this is about control. You want to control what's going to happen. And this is so true. If you have someone close to you, let's just say it's a sibling or maybe a child or a spouse even, or a parent, could be a parent or a grandparent, that they're just doing things that are just crazy. You don't understand that. And you don't know how you can deal with that. It's not about them. It's about you, me. It's about me. When you stop and reflect on that, it's about me. I want to be in control of those things. I want to make sure that it goes this way, because if they'll just do this and this and this, it'll all be fine. It'll be perfect. How often does that work out? It doesn't. Hi, Jack. It doesn't work out that way. Because when you try to control something, you're not really embracing it. You're not coming from a place of love and grace and understanding and forgiveness. You want to change someone else. And how often does that work? Doesn't work. You can't change anybody. The only one you can change is me, yourself. That's the only thing you can change. Just remember that. And it's difficult sometimes because you want to be correct. You want to be in the box, so to speak, so that you can look for things to support your position on something, even your position might have been wrong. You see it in politics all the time. You see it on the news all the time. You see it in social media. You want to support your particular view, so you find people that agree with you, and then all of a sudden everybody agrees with you. That's the way it is. No, that's not true. That's just the way these people see it. So I encourage you today, when we're thinking about this kindness, that we extend kindness not only to those that we're out, that we don't even know. That's a good practice. But what happens when you come home? Can you bring the same feeling of kindness home? Hi, Sherry. Can you bring this home to your house, to your family, to your loved ones? Can you bring that kindness and help move the situations forward? These are things that I work on, and it's not easy. Let me tell you what, it's not easy, because people do stupid things, in my opinion, but that's just what they're going to do, what they're going to do. It's just my opinion that they're stupid. They don't think it's stupid, whatever they're doing, or illogical, or whatever that might be, but, you know, it is what it is. But I can't control that. I refuse to let someone else steal my joy, because if my joy gets gone, it's because I let it go. If my ability to show kindness is gone, it's because I let that go. And I pull that back. I'm gonna say to you, pull back that kindness and that grace and share it out there with other people, and you'll be amazed how they'll respond back to you. That's what I'm going to work on this week, and I think it's a good thing. It's a way to move the ball forward, showing kindness, grace, acceptance, and love. I think that's the key. So I'm going to be thankful and grateful for kindness in my life. Think about that. Who could you be more kind to? Who were you unkind to that maybe you should apologize and say, you know, I was unkind in that situation, and I would like to move the ball forward. I'd like to say, how about this? How about that? What can we do that? That's a way to get off of the dead center, if you will, where you don't know what to do. I guess. I don't know what your situations might be. I can only be clear about what my situations are and what I deal with every single day. I'm just like you. Everything else, you know. What's it look like to you? What does showing more kindness and forgiveness and grace look like to you in your life, in your family, or your at work, or your whatever it might be, what's applicable to you? What would that look like? Because I want you to think about that while we do this Morter March. See, if you're not really crystal clear on what it is that you'd like to have happen in your life, lots of crazy, foggy things are going to happen in your life that you don't understand. It's because you weren't crystal clear about what you were projecting out there that's going to be your life. Remember, what you project today out there is you're going to create. That's a big one. What you project out there for today is what's going to create your day, and that's going to determine what's going to happen in your day. From here, happens from here. We project that. We create that. We create that. You want to do it with me? Come on. Hey, Dorothy. You want to do it with me? Come on. Let's do this. Let's do a Morter March. let's think about being kind. I'm thankful and grateful for kindness in my life. Kindness in my life. There's no kindness out there anymore, it seems like, all over. People are at each other's throats. People are like, yeah, blah, 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 blah. I've never seen more division for people. It's silly. I don't understand that. We need to be showing kindness. Not to let people run over you and trample you into the dirt. I'm not saying that. I'm saying you be strong in your convictions, in what you believe, and be kind when you're dealing with other people. That's the way that I would approach this if I was you. But that's just my opinion. I get to have my opinion on Morter March Monday because I can. Here we go. So I'm going to do this. I'm going to put my left foot out, my right arm up. I'm going to be thankful and grateful for kindness in my life. Thankful and grateful for kindness in my life. Thankful and grateful for kindness in my life. I like that. I'll switch the other way. See me? I'm thankful and grateful for kindness in my life. Kindness in my life. Kindness in my life. That was one. Remember, we do 3 sets. And if you don't remember how to do this and you're sharing this with somebody else, remind them to go to www.mortermarchmonday.com. Watch those videos. Sign up. It's all free. I'm thankful and grateful for more kindness in my life. I'm thankful and grateful for kindness. Kindness in my life. Okay? Switch the other way. Thankful and grateful for kindness in my life. Kindness in my life. Thankful and grateful for kindness in my life. That was 2. Refocus. What does that kindness look like? Who are you going to extend the kindness to? What's it going to sound like? What are you going to say? What are you going to do? Come on. I'm thankful and grateful for kindness in my life. Kindness in my life. Kindness in my life. One more time. I'm thankful and grateful for kindness in my life. More kindness in my life. I am thankful and grateful for kindness in my life. And if you're thinking, I'm going to give that SOB kindness, you got kindness right here. No. You got to bring, right from in here, you got to bring that kindness out. Hi, Mary Lou. You got to bring the kindness out. Put the kindness out there, and more kindness will come back in here. If you want more kindness in your life, put more kindness out there. What you put out is what you get back. And yes, I did find one morel mushroom yesterday, but there'll be a lot more. Hey, I'm Dr. Ted. I'll see you next week. Bye-bye.